What's going on, everybody? My name is Chris. This is our channel, Mr. Sillage. Thank you so much for tuning in. For all the returning subscribed Sillage soldiers, as always, welcome back. And I am elated to have a really awesome special guest here today in Sebastian from Smelling Great Fragrances. Welcome, Sebastian.
Hey everyone.
Sebastian, I looked up to you a lot. This scent that we're going to be talking about today is a fragrance review that I saw you do a while back, and you talked me into getting it, and I am thrilled that I did get it and I listened to you because it's one that personally just worked really well on my skin. And it's from the sort of controversial house of Zara, but it is Vibrant Leather. Now, Sebastian, what are your thoughts on Zara's Vibrant Leather?
Well, I prefer the fruitier batches of Aventus. That's why Zara's Vibrant Leather appealed to me more than Rich Leather did. And I love the fruity, crisp, juicy fruitiness of the whole fragrance. It's actually really a great, I'm not sure if it's considered like an actual clone, but perhaps I think Zara does go after like the most popular fragrances and they recreate them, so I guess it is a clone, but I think it's a great one. It's a really good one. It's too bad it's gone, but it's a good one.
Yeah, it's composed by Jerome Epinette, if I'm not mistaken, but it's funny that you mentioned that it's gone because from what I heard, they just re-released Zara's Vibrant Leather, and it's not currently in the States yet, but they released it in the 120-ounce bottles, sort of reminiscent of the Creed 120-ounce bottles. And they also put it in an eau de parfum concentration, which is sort of why I wanted to go back to the original 2016 version and just get a little bit of a take on this. I agree with you that this is just so fruity, and Jerome Epinette did a really excellent job. And for those of you who don't know, Jerome Epinette is another classic perfumer who's done stuff with Atelier and Byredo. And this is, it may not smell exactly like some batches of Aventus, but I mean, there's always differences in that. But I get such a great scent off of this. I get almost, do you get in a sort of like, do you get the bamboo in this? Because I get the bamboo a lot on my skin.
Well, I just remembered the notes. It was the bamboo with lemon, I believe. No pineapple was listed in the notes, according to Fragrantica. And I think it was that fusion of the lemon and the bamboo that kind of creates like the pineapple note from Aventus that we're smelling.
Yeah, and it's sort of it's that, and they have the it has the patchouli and a little bit of I don't get too much of the leather off of my skin on this. Just a nice, fresh, it's a fruity batch of Aventus, and as you mentioned, Zara has their rich leather, and I really wasn't really pleased with that one as much as I was with Vibrant Leather. For me, I get about 6 hours on my skin with this one, and decent projection and sillage.
And this is not my bottle anymore, it's a friend's, but I borrowed it just for this video. But I guess 5.5 to 6.5 hours, give or take. And this is one I would wear to the gym as well, since we just did a gym video. Yes. But I didn't care for Rich Leather either. I felt as though, as I was saying, Zara's Vibrant Leather was the more fruitier batches of Aventus, and Rich Leather was the more smoky and woody batches of Aventus. And I've always said I prefer the fruitier batches of Aventus because I love that brightness. It's more fun compared to going down to the darker alley or whatever with the darkness of the smoky, woody batches. So I don't know. Will they re-release Rich Leather as an EDP as well?
Who knows with Zara and the way that they run things. Like I said, it's sort of a controversial house with the way that they stock their fragrances, have their fragrances out for a year, and then discontinue them without letting anybody know. The one thing that I really appreciate is for value per fragrance, you really can't beat a lot of the fragrances that they do get. They get some actual real perfumers in there to make some really, really good scents. And for the price, you just can't beat them.
No, you can't. But there's no well, I guess there are some original fragrances out there. I mean, this is perfect for the person that wants a Ventus and they can't afford it. And I actually like this a little more than a Ventus because I love that fruitiness of this.
You know what's funny is there's times where I have two different batches of Ventus, but there's times where one's a little bit of a smokier batch. There's times where I'd like this one over the smokier batch, as well as sacrilegious as that may be to say. For a $29 fragrance, I couldn't believe that this one smelled better to me, than the one smokier batch that I had.
Well, as soon as my friends smelled this, they were like, I want some. And I'm like, okay, you've done some things that I needed help with, so I'll give this to you, and I'll go and pick up my own fragrance. But they were already out. They were completely out, and I couldn't find it anymore. And I had the rudest associate there. It was like, well, I can't help you. We just, everything is out. But really, in the past, I've asked them, and they've gone to the back and looked in and found stuff. They just weren't willing to help with anything. So, but we'll see how the EDP is. I'm quite curious. Just not sure, because this is perfect as it is. Sometimes they don't come out as good as the original when they do something different to it. So
and that's something I'm afraid of. If they just added a little bit more oomph to the fragrance, I'll be pleased. But other than that, I hope that they sort of just keep the original scent. But yeah, just with Zara, keep your stuff in stock, man. Like, what's it hurting? Please just leave it there and just let us get these fragrances and don't discontinue it within 3 months. Guys, I was really, really honored just to have Sebastian here and just to talk about this fragrance. Once again, this is one that he turned me on to, and I was just so happy that I was able to get a bottle. Sebastian, thank you so much for just being on the channel and just really helping me out with this set and just being such basically a keystone in this community. Like I said, and like I mentioned to you before, you've been someone that I've looked up to and have really respected in this community. And I always appreciate your input and advice. And it's just such an honor to have you on here.
Well, thank you for having me, and thank you for the support as well. And good luck with your channel. I'm sure it's it's going to grow. The more you put into it, the more it'll grow. And yeah, and then you've been participating in some of the giveaways we've been doing and at Saint Laurent and things like that. So I see your passion with this hobby. So it's kind of why I wanted to reach out and do this a couple of collab videos with you as well.
Sorry.
No, so thank you for having me.
So, and thank you so much for those words of encouragement, and thank you for giving me the advice that you give. It just really means a lot, guys. If by chance you watch me and you don't watch Sebastian, I'll leave a link down below. But if you don't, I don't know what you're doing. But I don't know what you're doing watching me and not watching him. Sebastian, thank you so much once again. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. It always means a lot to us. I'll leave a link down to Sebastian down below. And as always, and most importantly, go frag yourselves. I always feel weird saying that in front of anybody else that I'm talking to.